I recently bought an anchor, not very exciting I know, but very important if you want to stay safe while sailing. If you watched my last video, you'll know I had to be rescued by the Chichester Harbour Master while sailing between Itchenor and Dalkey on the south coast of England. I could have avoided calling the Harbour Master if I'd been carrying an anchor. A lot of small boats do not carry anchors. I presume their owners think that they have no need for an anchor. I used to think the same. I launch and retrieve from slipways and hards, and I tie up to jetties and pontoons. I didn't really see the need for an anchor. Best not to learn the hard way. After being rescued, I realised that I always need to carry an anchor. To cut a long rescue story short, I found myself sailing against a strong tide in the channel between Itchenor and Dalkey and began to drift backwards. So I pulled over to what I thought was a sandy bank to get out of the way of motorised vessels going up and down the channel. When I got to the bank, I found what I thought was sand was in fact very gloopy mud. I couldn't risk hauling a heavy boat onto the shoreline in case I got stuck, so I stood in the sea and held onto the boat by its painter. Things took a turn for the worse when I began to sink into the mud at an alarming rate. I called the harbour master for assistance and got a tow back to Itchenor. If I had an anchor, I could have chucked it over the bow and just waited for the tidal current to calm down. I know lots of owners of small boats who sail without an anchor, but if you don't have one, I recommend you get one. Have an outboard or oars and think they'll save you? Maybe not. Things break. I know someone who tried to get back to Itchenor against a strong tide in a lugger. Couldn't, so lowered their sail and headed back using their outboard. It overheated, so they had to call the harbour master for assistance. Their anchor stopped them drifting. Be prepared, get an anchor. It will get you out of all sorts of tricky situations and prevent you damaging yourself and your boat. For example, if you don't have an anchor when you want to stop at a location without a jetty or a pontoon, you'll have to drag your boat ashore. It takes a bunch of people to drag this CL-18 back into the water. It weighs about the same as my Yaquina Bay 1 design. There's no way I could drag my boat by myself. By dragging it, I risk hurting myself, scuffing the bottom of the hull, or getting stones stuck in the centreboard slot. Now I have an anchor, I won't need to leave my wife holding onto the boat while I fetch the car and trailer. I bought a Danforth anchor, also known as a fluke anchor, because I sail in the Chichester Harbour area where the seafloor is mostly mud or sand. When I drop the anchor, the shank is pulled down by the chain so that the flukes can dig into the mud on the seafloor. Anchors come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, each designed for different types of seafloor and boat length. Search the web and you'll find a massive information on numerous types of anchor, their uses and why you need a chain in addition to a rope if you sail a small boat. If you only have room to carry one anchor, get one that's designed for the conditions you sail in most of the time. Be safe. If you don't have an anchor, I recommend you get one.